Sarah says, I saw your videos about intrusive thoughts to know how to deal with the intrusive thoughts. I always believed that thoughts are me, but when I saw your videos about intrusive thoughts to know how to deal with the intrusive thoughts, I got relief after knowing that. But after I got another thought that no, it's not really you are your thoughts. So I'm confused. Oh, very simple, dear. Don't sweat it. You can go to my intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, negative thought playlist. And first of all, watch all of them. There are 44 videos there, but you can watch the ones that are numbered, number 1 to number 20. They will address pretty much everything you need to know in order to beat that nonsense that comes to your head. And it's very simple. And I'm going to explain to you right now in short. But you got to watch that, especially number 11, and of course all the other ones. They will tell you the secrets that you don't know about your psyche, and you will become very clear about the role of you and the thoughts. But in the meantime, you have to focus on the fact that an intrusive thought comes to you, you said, no, you are your thoughts. All right? Let's examine that. How long has human being have been living as a human being or as an animal or as a preceding human being? This entity, I'm not sure, but you probably know there have been, God knows, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, like, I don't know, a few 100,000, if not million years. But only 30,000 years ago, listen to this, only 30,000 years ago, a thinking ability and speaking ability came to become, and the final part of the frontal cortex was created, that we could speak, that we could think. Until then, the stem of the brain and everything was hardwired, and you would be living on instinct, hunting, procreating, sleeping, doing whatever you were doing as an animal would do. So if there was no thought and speaking ability until just 30,000 years ago, then how come, but what was that was living? Because this ability of thinking was added to what was living. So what was living, human being, was there before thought. So obviously what was there is separate than what was added to it. So you cannot be thought, which was added as a feature, as a tool, as an apparatus to what was already in existence. So you can't be thought. Thought is an ability. Thought is a feature, like the eyesight, like saying that if I don't have eyes, then I'm not a human being. The eyesight adds to what is already here. So I see what I see, but I choose to follow, pursue, or pay attention to what the eyes saw. I, the me, there is a me that decides what I'm seeing is interesting or not, or should I turn my head around, look at something else, or should I keep looking at that? I decide. Thought, the same. Thought is added to my capabilities, but to my capability, there's a me before thought arrived. So I cannot be thought. I am the me. The me is here first. Thought shows up. And then if you watch the video number 11, explains to you where thought and consciousness come and how they're put together. And then you can see that thought arises from the accumulation of information in our memory, in our consciousness. So thought, and when you watch that movie, in that video, it shows you this sequence of thought being produced and the conscious being put together. And on that basis, you can see thought and consciousness are based on the accumulation of the information that is exposed to us, to me. There's a me, they're added to it. And if I am capturing a limited amount of information of what's available in the world in my memory, and I see the world and life through the windows of my consciousness, which is a limited amount of an information of the whole totality of available information out there, how could then, if this thought is part of that information, the consciousness, and that consciousness be part of me, then this thought, what it pops out to actually be me, while it's only an apparatus, a feature that I would be for my use. It's there functioning, and I choose which one of them is useful to me or not. Because thought is not intelligence. It's two different things. So I hope this will open your eyes a little bit for the nonsense that comes to your head, and then you can watch those videos and perhaps you can go from there. If you are not alive, there is no thought. But when there's no thought, like there's quiet in your head, but you're alive, even thriving, because those chatters are shut down. So if you look at it this way, that itself can help you out, that you can create thoughts by consciously going to consciousness, selecting certain inventory of information and using it for calculation, production, designing, making something, learning something, figuring out something and stuff like that. You can create that, right? But the thought cannot create your body, and I'll explain a little bit further. And at the same time, you can create thoughts based on what it is that, that's your thought that I just explained, how you go select a certain amount of information and you use it. But then other thoughts that appear in your head, you have the power to diss them and disregard them, not pay attention to them. But they don't have that choice to not to pay attention to, because if you don't exist, they don't exist. Look at it this way. Maybe I can explain it this way. This could be in addition to what I've been saying today. When your mom and dad decided to be romantic and have a baby, have you. So they did their magic, and then one of the sperms out of 300 million sperms is faster and stronger and swims better than all of them and gets to mom's ovum and creates a spark, electrical spark, that starts the production of your heart. Answer me this. Is there any thought here? Is there any thought in there? Are you alive yet? No. It's just a spark. There is no thought. Then heart starts being created. Then within 22, 24 weeks after, the kidneys, the liver, the legs, the limbs, the nose, the ears, and everything, the fingers, they're all shaped. Is there a thought there? Has a thought been able to have anything to do with this creation? Your genitalia, your gender, everything is now created in mother's womb. Is there any thought there? Do you have anything with that creation? Do you have any thought in being able to help this creation? There are no thoughts. So everything is created. Your body, every parts of your body is created, but there are no thoughts. You can't think. You don't have the ability to think, and thought have no part of this creation. This creation has been taken care of automatic, including everything about you. And then you're born, and still you can't think. You just, after about maybe 6 months, a year, you're still trying to figure out and start by instinct. You just can drink, want milk or this and that, and you're learning things by instinct, like an animal learns. But you have no thinking capability. Depending on the kid, within a few months or a year or so, you start learning some distinguishing things from things, and eventually learning slowly what thinking feature is. Like when you are born, like the dog's born, their eyes don't work right away, and human being babies also born, their eyes are not really perfectly ready to focus everything. It takes time to develop. The thought one comes way later, after you're a few months old or a year or so, and you begin to have that thinking ability. So tell me, how could something that had nothing to do with the way you're created, your biological being is being created, which we just proved thought had nothing to do, thought didn't even exist when you were being created the way you have, in everything about you, your looks, your fingers, your gender, your legs, anything. When it didn't have anything to do, it wasn't even around, didn't even exist when you were being created, how could thought be you? And how could thought have anything to do with actually being able to change your biology? Hence, thoughts are not you. And you're not thoughts. You are you, and you are the boss of every faculty that you have, from everything, including thought. Thought, you have the power to select them, and 90,000 kind of thoughts appear in your brain every day, and they're all nonsense, because brain is a thought manufacturing part of you, not thought is you. Thought wasn't there, then you were added to it. You were there, then thought was added to it. Historically, 30,000 years ago, and personally, after you're born. So now you figure it out. Is it clear for you now? Don't tell me now.